Improve yourself 1% every day in 2026. We often overestimate what we can do in one day and underestimate what we can achieve in 1 year. We want big transformations, dramatic success, and instant results. But real growth is not about making a giant leap. It is about taking one small step forward consistently every single day. If you improve yourself by just 1% today, it may feel insignificant. But imagine doing that every day in 2026. By the end of the year, you will not be the same person. You will think differently, speak differently, react differently, and live differently. Growth is slow, but it is powerful. Think of a mountain climber. They do not reach the peak in one jump. They climb inch by inch, step by step. Some days are tiring, some days are stormy, some days feel pointless, but they keep moving. That 1% effort every day is your steady climb toward a better you. A young student once asked a teacher, "How can I become successful?" The teacher handed him a glass of water filled to the brim and said, "Walk around the school without spilling a single drop." The student walked carefully, slowly, and mindfully. When he returned, the teacher asked, "What did you notice around you?" The student replied, "I saw nothing. I was too focused on not spilling the water." The teacher smiled and said, "Success begins with focus, discipline, and small daily efforts. That is your 1%. In 2026, improving yourself by 1% does not mean changing your entire life overnight. It means small things: waking up a little earlier, speaking a little kinder, listening a little better, reacting a little calmer, and thinking a little wiser. These tiny improvements, repeated daily, create a massive transformation over time. Your competition is not others. Your competition is the person you were yesterday. If you are just slightly better today than you were yesterday, you are winning. Even on days when you feel tired, discouraged, or stuck, that small effort still matters. Remember, you do not have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. When you commit to improving yourself by 1% every day in 2026, you are not just changing your year, you are changing your life. Small daily improvements are the invisible forces that quietly shape the direction of your entire life. Most people look for dramatic change, one big decision, one big motivation, or one big opportunity. But transformation rarely works that way. Real growth happens in tiny, almost unnoticeable moments that you repeat day after day. Just like a drop of water slowly carves a stone over time, your small actions gradually sculpt your mind, habits, and character. When you choose to read a few pages, walk a few steps, control your anger for a few seconds, or speak kindly in a difficult moment, you are building something far bigger than you can see. These small improvements accumulate silently, creating a powerful shift in who you are becoming, even when you feel like nothing is changing. The beauty of small daily improvements is that they are simple, manageable, and sustainable. You do not need extraordinary talent or extreme effort. You just need consistency. When you commit to being 1% better today, you remove the pressure of perfection and replace it with steady progress. Over time, this consistent effort strengthens your confidence, discipline, and belief in yourself. You start realizing that change is not about pushing yourself to your limits in one day, but about showing up gently and persistently every single day. These small steps build momentum, and that momentum carries you much farther than short bursts of intense motivation ever could. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You do not see immediate results, but beneath the soil something powerful is happening. Roots are forming, strength is building, and life is growing slowly. Your daily improvements work the same way. Even when you feel stuck or frustrated, your efforts are still working beneath the surface. Over weeks and months, those tiny habits begin to sprout in your behavior, mindset, and personality. One day you suddenly realize that you are calmer, wiser, more disciplined, and more confident. Not because of one big moment, but because of countless small moments of growth. Small improvements also reshape your brain through repetition and habit formation. Every time you choose patience over anger, focus over distraction, or effort over comfort, your mind strengthens those pathways. Slowly, positive behaviors become natural instead of forced. What once felt difficult starts feeling normal. This is how long-term transformation happens, not through sudden willpower, but through gradual rewiring of your thoughts and reactions. Your mind begins to support your growth instead of resisting it, making success feel less like a struggle and more like a natural outcome of your daily choices. In your relationships, small daily improvements create deep and lasting change. A little more listening, a little more empathy, a little more appreciation, repeated consistently, can transform how people experience you. One grand gesture cannot replace daily kindness, respect, and understanding. When you improve just a little in how you communicate, how you respond, and how you care, your connections become stronger, healthier, and more meaningful. Over time, people begin to trust you, respect you, and feel safe around you, all because of your consistent small efforts. In your personal life, these tiny improvements build resilience and inner strength. Life will always present challenges, but when you have practiced small discipline every day, you are better prepared to face them. You learn to handle stress more calmly, setbacks more gracefully, and uncertainty more confidently. Each small improvement acts like a training session for your mind and emotions. Over time, you develop a personality that is steady, grounded, and emotionally balanced, capable of navigating both success and struggle with wisdom and stability. Ultimately, small daily improvements create powerful long-term transformation because they change not just what you do, but who you are at your core. They shape your mindset, your habits, your character, and your destiny. You may not notice the change today, tomorrow, or even next month, but one day you will look back and see a completely different version of yourself, stronger, wiser, kinder, and more confident. That is the true magic of 1% improvement every day, slow, steady, and unstoppable growth that transforms your entire life. Consistency matters more than motivation or dramatic change because motivation is fleeting, but consistent action compounds over time. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect idea, or the perfect mood to start improving themselves. They say, "I'll begin tomorrow when I feel ready," or "I'll work harder when I have more energy." But life rarely waits for perfect conditions. True growth comes from showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. Even small, imperfect efforts, repeated consistently, produce results far greater than sporadic bursts of energy or enthusiasm. Consistency is the bridge between your intentions and your outcomes. Without it, motivation alone fades like a candle in the wind. Consistency creates trust in yourself. When you commit to small actions every day, waking up on time, speaking kindly, practicing patience, or reading for growth, you prove to yourself that you can follow through. This builds self-confidence and inner reliability, which is the foundation of personal growth. Motivation may push you temporarily, but it cannot replace the trust you develop in your own habits and discipline. Every day you act consistently, you reinforce your ability to achieve long-term goals, because your actions begin to accumulate, forming an unstoppable momentum that eventually propels you toward transformation. Life's biggest achievements are rarely the result of sudden inspiration. They are the outcome of repeated, consistent effort. Consider an athlete training for a marathon. One day of intense practice does not make them a runner. It is the daily runs, gradually increasing in distance and intensity, that build stamina, resilience, and skill. Similarly, in personal growth, consistency, not intensity, matters most. By improving even a little each day, your skills, mindset, and character develop steadily. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes achievable because your daily actions compound and reinforce each other, shaping a strong, capable, and resilient personality. Consistency also strengthens mental discipline. Every day you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you train your mind to focus and persevere. Challenges become easier to face because you have practiced endurance in small ways. Discipline and consistency work together. Discipline drives you to act when motivation wanes, and consistency builds confidence that your efforts matter. Without consistency, even the most motivated person can falter. With it, even small, ordinary actions create extraordinary results over time. This is why personal growth is less about inspiration and more about daily deliberate effort. Consistency creates habits that automate growth. When you repeat positive actions daily, they eventually become second nature. You no longer need to rely on fleeting motivation to make good choices because your habits do it for you. For example, brushing your teeth or tying your shoes is automatic because of repetition. Similarly, when you consistently practice kindness, discipline, patience, or gratitude, these qualities become a natural part of your personality. Consistency transforms effort into habit, and habit transforms habit into identity, showing that who you are becomes inseparable from what you do every day. Consistency is also a shield against life's distractions and setbacks. Life is unpredictable. Challenges, failures, and temptations can easily derail motivation. But when you have a consistent routine of small improvements, setbacks cannot stop your growth. Just as a river continues flowing despite obstacles in its path, your consistent efforts push through difficulties, gradually reshaping your life. Even if some days are imperfect, showing you consistently ensures that you do not lose progress. Over time, consistency creates resilience, stability, and unwavering focus, which are essential for lasting personal transformation. Ultimately, consistency matters more than motivation or dramatic change because it is the engine of transformation. Motivation comes and goes, inspiration fades, dramatic efforts burn out. But consistent, small actions repeated daily create exponential results. They shape your mindset, refine your habits, strengthen your character, and slowly, steadily transform your life. By prioritizing consistency over occasional bursts of effort, you build a personality that is reliable, grounded, and capable of achieving deep, lasting growth. True change is never sudden. It is earned day by day, step by step. Self-discipline and focus are the pillars of real growth because without them, even the best intentions fade quickly. Many people have dreams and goals, but without control over their mind and actions, those dreams remain distant fantasies. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. Focus is the skill of directing your energy and attention toward what truly matters, without being distracted by noise, instant gratification, or the chaos around you. Together, discipline and focus transform potential into achievement, ensuring that small daily efforts are not wasted but accumulate into meaningful progress over time. Discipline is built through repeated practice in ordinary moments. It shows in waking up early even when tired, in choosing healthy food over cravings, in completing tasks despite laziness, and in controlling your impulses rather than letting them control you. Each act of self-control strengthens your willpower, like exercising a muscle. Over time, you develop the ability to act consistently in alignment with your goals, even when life becomes difficult or tempting distractions appear. This gradual strengthening of self-discipline becomes the backbone of personal growth, shaping both your character and your personality. Focus sharpens your mind and prevents energy from scattering in multiple directions. Many people work hard but lack focus, which leads to frustration and stagnation. By practicing focus daily, whether in work, study, or personal growth, you maximize the impact of your efforts. It is not about working harder, it is about working smarter and with intention. When your mind is focused, every small improvement counts, every step forward is meaningful, and distractions lose their power. Focus ensures that your 1% improvement each day compounds effectively, producing results far beyond what scattered effort could achieve. Discipline and focus also help in overcoming procrastination and inconsistency. Motivation alone is unreliable because it fluctuates with mood and circumstances. But when you have discipline, you take action even when you don't feel like it. When you have focus, you avoid wasting energy on irrelevant tasks and invest it where it truly matters. This combination allows you to develop habits that support your growth, rather than being at the mercy of your emotions or external pressures. It is through disciplined, focused action that small daily improvements actually lead to long-term transformation. Self-discipline is also deeply connected to self-respect. When you keep your promises to yourself, follow through with your commitments, and maintain integrity in your actions, you begin to trust and value yourself. This inner trust radiates outward, influencing how others perceive and respect you. A disciplined person is not only reliable in their work, but also emotionally stable, patient, and composed. This inner strength becomes a key component of personality because people naturally gravitate toward those who demonstrate consistency, responsibility, and self-mastery. Focus and discipline are essential in navigating distractions and challenges in life. Life constantly tests your resolve with temptations, pressures, and crises. Without focus, you can be easily derailed. Without discipline, you can give up at the first sign of discomfort. But when you cultivate both, challenges become opportunities to practice resilience and strengthen your character. Daily acts of discipline and moments of focused attention accumulate into a life that is purposeful, intentional, and aligned with your highest values. This makes personal growth both sustainable and profound. Ultimately, self-discipline and focus are not restrictive, they are liberating. They free you from the chaos of impulsive behavior, from the slavery of mood and external circumstances, and from the frustration of unmet potential. They allow you to channel your energy in a single powerful direction, creating momentum that builds over time. With disciplined effort and focused attention, your small daily improvements compound into extraordinary transformation. You don't need luck or constant motivation. You need consistency guided by discipline and focus, and your life gradually becomes a reflection of your best self. Consistently competing with your past self is the heart of meaningful personal development. Too often, people compare themselves with others, measuring success by someone else's achievements, possessions, or status. This comparison leads to frustration, envy, and unnecessary pressure. True growth, however, comes when you focus inward and measure progress against the person you were yesterday. When your only competition is your own past, every small improvement matters. Even a tiny step forward, reading a few pages, practicing patience, controlling anger, or speaking kindly becomes a victory. By focusing on yourself, you create sustainable growth that is not dependent on external validation or luck. Competing with your past self encourages reflection and awareness. To improve, you must first know where you started, where you struggled, and where you fell short. Reflecting on yesterday's choices, reactions, and habits allows you to identify areas for growth. This self-reflection is not self-criticism, but a way to understand yourself better. By comparing your actions and mindset to your past self, you learn what worked, what didn't, and what can be done better tomorrow. Growth becomes intentional rather than random, and you begin to take responsibility for shaping your own character and personality. This mindset fosters humility and patience. When your goal is to surpass your past self, you are less likely to feel discouraged by the speed of your progress. You understand that personal development is a journey, not a race. Improvement by 1% today may seem small, but it compounds over weeks, months, and years. By consistently using on your own growth, you learn patience with yourself, avoiding the trap of comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Humility arises naturally because you recognize that there is always room to improve and that growth is a lifelong process. Competing with your past self also builds resilience. Life will present challenges, setbacks, and failures, but when your focus is on personal progress rather than external approval, obstacles become opportunities to learn. Every mistake or difficulty is a chance to surpass your former self, to react more wisely, or to handle situations with more grace. This mindset transforms setbacks into stepping stones, allowing you to grow stronger emotionally and mentally. Your personality becomes more balanced and mature because each challenge is integrated into your journey of self-improvement rather than being a reason to give up. Tracking small improvements helps create momentum. When you see that today you were more patient, more disciplined, or more thoughtful than yesterday, it motivates you to continue. This positive reinforcement fuels consistency, turning tiny efforts into habits. Over time, these repeated daily improvements reshape your personality, your mindset, and your actions. By competing only with yourself, you create a system where progress is measurable, tangible, and encouraging. Even incremental changes eventually result in a profound transformation that feels effortless in hindsight but is the result of deliberate daily effort. Competing with your past self also strengthens self-confidence. When you realize that you are consistently improving, even in small ways, you develop trust in your own abilities. You no longer rely on external praise to feel good because your growth is self-evident. This self-confidence becomes a natural part of your personality, influencing how you interact with others, handle challenges, and make decisions. By focusing on improving yourself, your inner stability and calm increase, creating a sense of peace and assurance that no external circumstance can shake. Ultimately, focusing on surpassing your past self transforms your entire approach to life. Growth becomes personal, intentional, and continuous. You learn to celebrate small victories, embrace challenges, reflect on mistakes, and cultivate resilience, patience, and self-confidence. This mindset removes envy, frustration, and unnecessary pressure, replacing them with motivation, focus, and purpose. By consistently striving to be slightly better than yesterday, your personality evolves naturally, your habits strengthen, and your life gradually transforms into a reflection of your highest potential. A better you year after year,